Hi guys, welcome. I'm Madi, aka Mad Juice, from Sacred Space Revolution, and this is something new I'm trying out, which is a little energy reading for the collective for the month of November. So we're gonna pull some cards and just see what November has in store for us. What are our lessons? What are we healing from? What are we moving past? What are we calling in? I'm gonna work with this new amazing deck that I just got. Oh, I just dropped it. This is the Kim Krans Archetype deck, which I've been really loving, and the readings have been so spot on for me. And then I'm also gonna work with a personal deck that I work with that we made called Notes from Your Higher Self, which is an affirmation oracle deck. So I'm gonna pull some cards, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. I'm also going to link to my website if you want to book a personal reading with me or a healing. I do distance sessions over Zoom or in-person sessions in New York City. So I think that's it. I'll put it all below. And in the meantime, let's see what the cards have to say. Now, November is a very, I would say, charged month. It's always a very magical time of year. We come off of the end of October, where we have the veil gets very thin around Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos. It's a time of year where they say it's a high time for magic. It's a great time to connect with the spirit worlds, to your ancestors, to make time for ritual, to look back on the year. What have we harvested? Now what's falling away as we move into winter? And it's a great time of year for intuitive messages. This is a time of year in my past I've had crazy downloads or images or signs, symbols, synchronicities, met new, spirit guides I've worked with, reconnected with, loved ones who have passed. So I would definitely encourage you to stay open-minded and to make time and space for stillness to tune into all of this, right? Like without sacred space, we can't really listen to the messages. We can't pay attention. We can't, we have to slow down to see what the universe, what the signals they're sending us. Okay. So I'm just shuffling these. They're round, so they're a little bit harder to shuffle than the cards I'm used to. But I also, have a background. I do energy work and I study shamanism and crystals and I work with sound healing. But I love astrology. I'm an astrologer because I like following the rhythms and the frameworks of the universe and getting to tap into that. And it's takes a lot of the guesswork for me out of things. So I am contemplating doing a personal video for each sign for November, but I wanted to get this done and just out and not procrastinate like the Virgo that I am that's waiting to, make things perfect. So the one thing that I will say is for November, we have a few dates to look out for. There is Mercury has gone retrograde and will be retrograde for the majority of the month. So that happened on October 31st and it's in Scorpio. So Mercury in Scorpio going retrograde gives us a huge opportunity, again, to slow down and work on our re's. So that's reviewing old plans, reassessing our direction, renewing promises or contracts that we've made to ourselves. It's review time. It's also time to remember maybe things that we've forgotten about ourselves or our life purpose. And it's we get a little pause from the universe before the next chapter to clean up any loose ends from the old chapter. Realign our inner GPS, check on where we're going. And it's just a great excuse to slow down, do less. Don't start new things right now. Don't go out and we all always want to go on to the next thing, the new shiny thing, the next goal. But there's also a season, and this is it, of looking back. How can we finish certain things before we start new things? How can we close out old chapters, really end maybe those relationships that we've been just kind of letting fade out in the distance? Or, it's a good time to have really strong communications, clear thoughts, and really those two things need us to slow down and they need space, right? And also I should say that Mercury in Scorpio, again, Scorpio rules the underworld, it rules secrets, it rules the stuff that we don't always see with our naked eyes. So Mercury in Scorpio going retrograde, I think, is a huge chance to get extra downloads and signs and symbols and synchronicities from our guides, from our angels, from our ancestors. It's a huge time to like practice on your clairs, your intuitive language. So that's the exciting part, because everyone gets freaked out by Mercury retrograde, but I think that's one of the gifts of this particular one. And it also happened on Halloween, so how magical is that? The last date that I'm gonna just bring your awareness to is 11/11. I think we all know 11/11, make a wish, we've heard it. It is a magical date. In fact, it's a charged date in astrology. It's a portal. So 11/11, the roots of that come from not necessarily making a wish, but think about the numbers 11/11. It's like a portal. So this is like something's opening up from the cosmos. Something's opening up. It's telling us to really be aware of our thoughts, because they're manifesting. That's when we see 11/11. That's kind of the message, is that your thoughts are manifesting now. Your angels and your guides want you to know that. And that's why I love having a mantra, because maybe it's 11/11 and I'm like really stressed out about something, or I'm thinking some, beating myself up or getting self-critical. And I don't want those thoughts to manifest. So into reality, no way. So at 11/11, I'll see that and I'll just think to myself, okay, I am abundant, I am full of joy, I am here to serve the highest good, whatever that mantra is. That's why it's great to have like an immediate thing to grab with your mind. Now, the other thing that I want to point out is 11/11, the actual day, is a portal. It's this like consciousness. Everything is very thin. The veil is very thin, rather. So really being aware of your thoughts and doing mindset work leading up to 11/11, and making time for ritual to get really clear on what we're leaving behind. This is a time of year of shedding. The leaves are falling from the trees. So like on 11/11, what are you leaving behind? Like what's not coming with you as you into this portal for the next chapter? And what is coming with you? What are you seeing? What's in your vision? Maybe what's that dream that's so big it sounds almost a little scary to say out loud, okay? So 11/11, we're gonna make time for some ritual, right? Okay, so that's enough of the astrology. I think these cards are shuffled, they feel good, they feel ready to go. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask, what do anyone watching this video, at any space and time, what do we need to know right now for our highest good? What is my soul family watching this? What do we need to align ourselves with to be of service, to step into wholeness, to really live a life that's self-actualized and fulfilled and prosperous in every sense of the word, mind, body, spirit? Okay, so let's see what comes up. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm already laughing. One card came out because you guys just saw how much I shuffled these cards. I got very similar cards when I pulled them yesterday, and very similar cards when I pulled cards from this deck the very first time with my cousin Kirsten, who is also an amazing healer, reader, and intuitive. Okay, so I am gonna use the book for these, and I'm also gonna give a little bit of I opened some sacred space before this, and I called in my guides and angels and ancestors. So I'm gonna read from the book, but it's also gonna be a little bit of like a channeled message for us, for the collective. I love doing this work because it's such a reminder of how we are all so connected. We're all going through things in this like collective energy. Okay, so I asked what do we need to know for mind, body, spirit, and also what are we leaving behind? What are we healing? What's the cycle that we're leaving behind? So where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? What we're leaving behind, right? That's what I think. I'm always like, let me learn what I'm getting rid of. What's the old? Let's get rid of that so we can just talk about the new stuff, right? It's like the Marie Kondo. We're getting rid of the stuff that doesn't fit, that we're done with, so we can make room for our new, organized, beautiful, color-coded spiritual closet of life. So the card of what we are leaving behind. Oops, I can't pick it up. Oop, it's stuck. Okay, so the card we're leaving behind is the dead end. And all I can say is thank Jesus. Thank you, God, Goddess, Mother, Father, Spirit, We are leaving behind the dead end. So let's see what beautiful Miss Kim Krans has to say about this. Now, I have some ideas coming through and some things are already popping up, so I'm just gonna say them, and I hope you guys can, be open to listening. I should say also, for all of my readings, I always tell my clients, my people, take what resonates that I'm saying. Take what resonates, but leave the rest. I am not some guru. I'm not some all-knowing, like, higher being. I am just a woman who wants to dedicate her life to be a clear and open channel for other people's healing. So I could say something and you can say that doesn't really feel right. For me, I don't think that resonates. Or you might hear something and say, wow, I really needed to hear that today. But this is you. This is where I want you to use your discernment, right? Because we don't want to give away our power to readers, psychics, intuitives. We still want to stay in our own power, right? So that's just my little fine print. Now onto the good stuff. Back to dead end. So really what's coming up for dead end, I really wanted, the first thing is there's like this hand and it's in this wood. So where have we been feeling blocked? Has there been something that feels like it was going nowhere, maybe in your life, or the problem or a relationship you were trying to, heal from or move past, and it feels like you kept getting this hand and getting caught in like what's almost these like brambles of these woods, right? These brambles of these woods looks like, honestly, this time of year, it reminds me of November, like energy. It's like October, branches, and maybe you just kept coming up against something that felt like, I've tried this from every angle. I've done the healing, I've done the work, I've had the conversations, I've read the books, I've gone to the workshops, I've prayed, I've meditated, and I still just keep getting the same answer. And my intuitive message that's coming up for this is, okay, it's lifted. It's like something was lifted. Something was clogging the drain, and it wasn't because you weren't doing the right amount of work. Up to this point, it was just divine timing. As humans, we get really impatient. We expect things to happen on a certain human timeline, but divine timing and universal timing, it's not the same as our human conception of time. Also, time is made up and time is a construct, I should also say, but we'll get into that in another video. So the dead end, so this thing's been lifted. So hallelujah, kalu kale, ofrabjus day, the dead end is lifted. So this is what we're leaving behind right now, okay? There's like the wind just rustled behind me. There's like a new, fresh breeze. Like things are different now. Things that felt blocked are lifted. We're in alignment. So this says in the book, and this is what we're leaving behind. It says a closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. So this is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, I said bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states no more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter. It is very natural to resist and struggle even harder to make our way, to hold on to what was. But in this way, we fight with life itself. So from a mythic perspective, the end you face is a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the one you planned on walking through. If you're honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. And then, so the thing that we're leaving behind is inertia, stuckness, tension, unconscious gripping. So this is really great. Like, this is the moment, like, it's the movie moment, It's Harry Potter being stuck in the dungeon and thinking there's no way out. There's a million scenes we've watched like this, and that's the mythic journey they mentioned in the book. It's, you might be feeling like your back's up against the wall, or you've done all of the work, you've tried all the things, and you're not getting any different results. And this card is like, if you're ready to accept that, November is the reset. November is, you thought it was a dead end and you found the trap door, the mythical creature came in to save you out of nowhere. It's amazing. It's a beautiful energy. I was really excited when I saw that card pulled up. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or comments on these readings, you can leave them in the comments below. I like being interactive, or I like hearing when things resonate, if we're on the right path. Now, the next card that I pulled is the one, like, I will say, that made me laugh, because This was one of the first cards I ever pulled, and then I keep pulling it. And this is mind. This is okay. So now I pulled a card for us as the collective. What do we need to know? Mind, body, spirit. I'm a Virgo. I love categories. I love organizing readings. I love action steps, takeaways. That's why I do it on my Instagram at Sacred Space Revolution. I do like cosmic prescriptions, mystical homework, rituals for the month, because I like to know, like, what are we working on? Give me the overall vibe, but like, what am I doing with it? So mind, body, spirit. Mind, what is our mind's homework for November? I kind of touched on it earlier with the Mercury retrograde and the 11/11 portal, but I'm laughing because this is the ridiculous card, and I love this deck so much, the Archetype deck from Kim Krans. Look at our freaking November mind homework, our mind's cosmic prescription, our mystical homework, our divine assignment. It's a freaking cat with sprinkles on its head and a collage. I love this deck because every piece of art is so different and unique, but it really speaks to me. And this is the comic. And I personally love this card because I think high vibe humor is the biggest tool to healing. I love laughter. It shakes off the old, right? It shakes off the stuck. It helps open up me to understand messages from a higher source. I have been told that I work with a guide called Loki. It's all about laughter. So I try to keep all of my teachings and my healings and my readings light and positive, and I like to laugh at myself and at life, because I think sometimes spirituality can be way too serious, and we know life can be way too serious and heavy. So we all need a little bit of this, and that's why I love that it's our mind medicine for November. This is like, how can we shake off that heaviness? It's like sometimes something sits on your mind and you feel it, right? Like you feel this pushing down of like, life is so serious, things are so hard, what am I doing here, what's the purpose, existential dread and doom, oh my god. And then laughter and humor is what shakes it off. That's why I love memes. My Instagram, I love making memes. I love looking at memes. They make me feel humor. It shakes things off, but it also reminds us how connected we are, how we can laugh at the same things, we go through the same experiences, we have the same kooky like inner dialogue, and we think no one else is thinking that, right? And then you hear a stand-up joke or you read a meme and you're like, I feel that way too. So I love humor. So our November mind medicine is make time for humor, make time to laugh, see like how you can choose to laugh. And this is not like live, laugh, love, okay? Because we all know that's a whack expression. But the truth, that the pearl that was in that live, laugh, love overused trite, like now, you know, home of on many, many tchotchkes, the laugh is because laughter is everything. It's like a brain orgasm. We laugh and we burst out and things are just different. We all know how a good belly laugh makes us feel. So sometimes laughter can also be a choice when something ridiculous happens during this Mercury retrograde, because something ridiculous will happen. Like you will miss a train, or you will mess up an email, or you will just be a human. You'll, you know, forget something that you left behind on the way out of town. And I want you to see if you can choose to laugh first. That can be your first reaction of, oh, another lesson in Earth School, which is what I always say, or, oh, that's ridiculous. And just see how laughter changes your vibration. Laughter is an expansive energy. So now you're opening your energy, you're raising your frequency. So what happens after that mistake or misstep is you're open now. You're on a higher plane. Whereas before, maybe you were constricted and you're gonna beat yourself up and you're gonna get all in your head, and then it's negative and then it's fear-based and it's anxious, and then you're gonna attract other of those things, right? We know that's how our mind is a huge magnet. Our mind is like an electromagnetic field that's just pumping out signals to the universe, and the universe will never make us a liar. It'll always match our thoughts. So we wanna be like aware of them. And why I like laughter is it's also, it connects the body and the heart to the mind, because you feel it in your body, you feel it in your heart. So I want you to see what happens the next time things don't go our way. Can we laugh? And also just making time for laughter. Go to a comedy show, take an improv class, My sister went to an improv class in Chicago this week, or improv performance, and she told me one of the things they did, and even secondhand, it was the funniest shit I've heard. I was laughing all day. I was belly laughing all day. Her telling me about it. It was so healing. Read something funny, watch stand up, just make time for humor. It's really important. So that's our November mind medicine. Again, leave me any comments or questions on that below. Okay, so that was mind. Now we have body. And to be honest, mind, when I saw the comic cat with the sparkle hat, I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. When I pulled the body card for a minute, I was like, what is this? It made me it made me scratch my head a little bit. So then when I was laying them out, I just kind of connected in and just let my mind go kind of blank. Because again, that's where I have to flesh my ego. I don't want to, I'm not trying to be cool or perform or get like the best reading of all time. I'm just here to be an open channel for spirit, for medicine messages to work through me. So when I saw this one, the empty room, this is body, empty room, and I love it. The first thing I even saw before the name empty room is I just saw this beautiful little like galaxy of explosions. Like how beautiful is that, right? Like this dark space with these little purple lights. And I thought about, okay, my body medicine is empty room. So for me personally, it's kind of heady, but the first thing I thought was, right, our bodies are these infinite, miraculous, magical vessels that are made up of stardust and earth magic, and we just forget that, and we just get caught up on what our bodies aren't doing for us. Hi guys, it's Madi Juice again from Sacred Space Revolution. I think my video got cut off, so this is the continued November energy report reading. So we're talking about body medicine right now, and we're talking about from the Kim Krans archetype deck of this, the empty room. So I was talking about using this as a reminder that our bodies are more than just our physical bodies and the small mundane things that kind of fill up our life. Sometimes it's this reminder that our bodies are this vessel for spirit, and that they're constantly healing themselves, and they're constantly, working in a way that defies science sometimes, and that they're the most divinely designed probably entity of all time is this body that we're walking around in, and all we can think about is, oh, I'm so bloated, or oh, I don't fit in those old jeans, or oh, I'm so tired. Well, maybe you're tired because you need to rest. Maybe you're bloated because you're not drinking enough water. Like, we have to really examine how we talk about our body and the relationship we have with it. But I'm gonna read. This is the empty room is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ooh. Kim Krans has me shook with this book description. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. That's so spot on for the body medicine. So be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Oh, it's so beautiful. So when it's in its light, it's spaciousness, potential, possibility, like I said, and then when it's in the dark, it's addiction, insatiability, more for more's sake. So the empty room, as it relates to our body, I love that. I think the culture of more is really how we feel about our bodies. Like, we're not ever completely satisfied. Maybe we want to lose weight, or we want to bulk up, or we wish our boobs were smaller or bigger, or our skin was tanner or smoother, or our bodies, even just like physically, we want to do more, we want to push it more. And our bodies just need moments, I think, of just being with them and beholding them. And I speak I'm speaking to myself too, of just letting my body rest, asking it what it needs from me, feeding it with delicious, healthy, plant-based things, slowing down, chewing my food, drinking water, like just being with my body in a way that's a deep reverence for its potential and its power, instead of trying to push it into something or seeing what it's not. So I think that's our body medicine. And to me, it also relates as rest. So I think November for our bodies, it's like rest. What can we like ask what our body needs from us versus what we need from our bodies? So maybe your body needs a little bit more veggies, or it needs some more root vegetables to ground down. Maybe your body wants to sleep more. Maybe your body wants like to soak in a bath. So seeing what you can ask your body, what it needs from you. Okay, so that's the body medicine. I have no idea if I'm gonna fuse these two videos together, because I don't know how to do that. So these might be two separate videos. So if you missed the mind medicine, find the other video on my channel that says November energy report, spirit message reading. And okay, so we have mind, we have body. So our collective energy, our mystical homework, our cosmic prescription for November for spirit is the village. And this one really resonates with me personally, because again, there's the reading from the book, which I'm gonna do, but really the reading that I feel from this first intuitive message, very interesting. You guys saw how much I shuffled the deck, and I shuffled it before the recording also, but it's directly precedes the empty room, the body message. So this to me is also showing like how tied in these two things are with each other right now for our mind, body, spirit medicine. And the village, it's this feeling of community. Our spirits right now, November, we're moving into the winter, we're moving into, you know, we're not in winter yet, but we're in that in-between state where it starts to actually really get cold, and all of that buzz of summer has died down, and all that newness of fall and back to school is slowly starting to simmer, and it's getting dark a little bit earlier. The sky is a little bit grayer, and it can be a time of year where I think we can feel a little isolated, right? And I think loneliness is the biggest epidemic. We feel so lonely. We're so connected. We've heard this expression, but we're actually really alone. And I think making time in November for meaningful community with like-minded people will be really healing for us all. So we want to push past a little bit of our comfort zone, maybe. Like, I know body is about rest, so I want us to rest, but I also want us to not use rest as an excuse to self-isolate. So we want to rest, but we also then want to maybe find a community group we can go to, or call up some family and friends, come over for a potluck, come over for some chili, let's hang out, let's play games, let's just sit and be with each other. We need each other. We need physical space holding. We need to show up for people when they're going through something hard. I know it's really, sometimes when people are going through hard things, it's hard to know what to do or say. So we get awkward, and we don't want to do the wrong thing, so we don't do anything. But I know when I've been going through hard things in life, I don't need people to say something profound or to, you know, fix my problems. But just having someone sit with me and show up and just feel their presence, it just gives you enough light, and it gives you enough peace and clarity to like figure out your next steps, and that you're gonna be okay. So just showing up for people in your life. So yeah, set an intention to do something with people you care about. Or if you don't have those people, I've been there. I move, like even in my own work, I move around a lot of different towns and cities. And I've been in times in my life where I didn't have any community around me. And it was hard, it was really draining. But there's always people out there who are like you, and people out there who would love to delight in your company. So go onto Meetup. There's like hundreds and thousands, even in the smallest little town, they have meetups for everything. So just go to a meetup, go to a trivia night, you know, go take an art class. And even if you're like on a super budget, you don't have time to do any of this, sometimes community is just going to your local coffee shop that you go to any day anyway, or your laundromat or your deli, and just talking to the person, how are you doing? Sometimes it's just that simple. it's just connection and remembering that like we're part of something bigger. It's really nourishing and really energizing. So I'm looking to read what the book says. So it says, the village is the place that feels like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the place you have to leave in order to grow. So around the village, there are boundaries, unspoken boundaries, and one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. Okay, I love this. My spirit message, my download was that about community getting out, and I honor that. But I also really want to honor what came up in the book, because this is kind of twofold. Because even while I was talking, I was thinking, okay, but also tell them that maybe your family is your community, but maybe also your family, it's a little bit stressful thinking about going home for the holidays or going to your old community or your hometown. Maybe there's just, again, like ideologies, or things you've grown past. But really, this card to me feels like the Thanksgiving dinner table. I just kind of got a very clear image. This card, the other message of this is just for your spirit to protect yourself with boundaries. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of things going on in the world that are very divisive and charged, or there's just sometimes unhealthy, dysfunctional places that we came from, and we think that we have to self-sacrifice and put ourselves last in order, to be a good family member. But I just want to honor your journey. If you're in a family that's not healthy, you don't have to be with them for the holidays, or you don't have to engage in certain things. You can put yourself first, and you should. Your mental and emotional health is really the most important thing. And also, we're always creating new family, right? There's always potential for new family out there. And also, I don't have the resources, but I'm going to share them on our Instagram. There's a few amazing accounts that I follow that literally show like how to have uncomfortable conversations about politics with your family. And I think that would be good for all of us to do. So that's it. That's your November energy reading. We had mind, body, spirit. We had what we're leaving behind. This is my first time doing this, so apologies that the video is in like 2 different segments, but whatever, it's still the message, it's still working. I'm just trusting it and not gonna go all Virgo and try and make it perfect. So I hope these messages serve you in some way. I hope they help just align you with your highest good and the highest good of everyone around you. And I'm really sending you love, like actual love today. I'm sending everyone who's watching this, wherever you may be, wherever in time, I'm sending you just a little bundle of light that just continues to open up throughout the day. And hopefully this light can hold you and give you some peace and comfort and joy on this day. And I hope we all have a blessed, amazing, sparkly November. And I will put all the links to my website on Instagram below, so you can follow me, stay up to date with events and offerings, or reading or healing with me. And I think that's it.